Atari has been enjoying something of a renaissance lately, with some great modern game releases, and some cool new hardware with their name on it. Not to mention all the new and re-released 2600 and now 7800 cartridges hitting their store and Amazon. There's also new 2600 and 7800 compatible peripherals, lots of novelties, and heck, even a deal with G Fuel. Okay, the G Fuel deal isn't that impressive. Everybody and their mama has a G Fuel deal. Which reminds me, Atari Network G Fuel coming soon in 3 crazy retro flavors. Berry Vinny Blast, 7800 Pro flavor, and of course, the Atari Network Squirt. I'm kidding, of course, but the point is that Atari has been putting their name out there quite a bit, and I've seen loads of praise for their recent releases. Previously, Atari seemed lost as they began working on hotels, cryptocurrency, and God knows what else. And the few gaming-related products they released were the same old flashback consoles and, well, I guess that was really it. But that's all old news. Our new Atari is doing big things, and I'd like to highlight some of the more exciting products announced for 2024 that bears the Atari name and logos. So without further delay, let's witness some new Atari products that you may want to grab in 2024. Let's start with one of the more recent announcements, in the fact that Atari is continuing to support their 2600 Plus console with new controllers and some new cartridge releases. For those living under a rock the last few months, the Atari 2600 Plus is a modern take on the Atari 7800. Essentially it is. It has HDMI out, widescreen compatibility, plays most of your old favorite 2600 and 7800 cartridges, and has firmware that can be updated to allow for more game compatibility on the system. They have been releasing some new and re-released Atari 2600 cartridges for their console, along with paddle controllers for you to enjoy with your night drivers and super breakouts. But slated for a May release of this year, and up for pre-order right now at Atari.com and Amazon, is the CX78 Gamepad controller. This controller is the 2-button NES-style pad that was released for the 7800 in the European and Australian territories. For many years, it has been an attractive import for Americans, as it's superior to the Pro-Line controller that we got over here in almost every way. But the controller isn't perfect. As a matter of fact, it's kind of flawed. And this new re-release, meant for use on your 2600 Plus, doesn't seem to have many, if any, improvements of these flaws. The buttons are spaced too far apart, and the thumbstick D-pad combo is sort of stiff and difficult to use. Of course, this is just speculation, but based on the pictures of the controller and how the stock 2600 Plus controller is, I'd have to say that I don't expect any improvements. But they are still superior to any other official Atari controller for use on 7800 games, and at $24.99, it's going to be a must-grab for a lot of people. But what's even more exciting is the 3 new Atari 7800 cartridges with the same release date as the controller. These games can also be pre-ordered, and they are Food Fight, Fatal Run, and Ninja Golf. And they retail for an incredible price of $29.99 each. Again, these games aren't enhanced at all, but if you've been following 7800 game prices since the release of the 2600 Plus, then you'll know that these things have been getting out of hand. Ninja Golf was going for over $100, and Fatal Run was creeping up to that $200 mark. These are fun games, but not at those prices. But for $30, well, they're well worth it. Ninja Golf is a crazy game that always sparks the interest of people just learning about it. You are a ninja in training, and in order to become a true ninja master, you must conquer 9 holes of Ninja Golf. Hit the ball, then fight ninjas, gophers, snakes, and even sharks on your way to where the ball rests and get ready to putt. But you're not going to do a normal putt. Nope, you're going to battle a fire-breathing dragon instead. Fatal Run is a sort of Road Blasters-esque affair where you're trying to deliver a cure to some post-apocalyptic towns. You'll use the machine guns, oil and smoke traps, missiles, and more from your vehicle, while you contend with Mad Max-style enemies on the road. When you make it to the town, you get some pretty cool cutscenes, and the ability to do repairs and buy new toys before heading back out. It's not the greatest 7800 game, but man, it's just plain fun. And finally, they are offering Food Fight, which is probably one of the 7800's best and most defining games. It's simple. You pick up and sling food from piles around the screen, and contend with several chefs, on your way to reach your delicious ice cream cone before it melts away. It's simple, fun, and really addictive. These are fantastic releases in my eyes, and a must-own for 2600 Plus owners who have been looking for good deals on some of the 7800's most intriguing games. But beyond all that, I'd like to highlight the product that I'm honestly most excited for. I'm talking about the MyArcade Atari Game Station Portable. This baby has it all, and is the portable I've been dreaming about. It has spinner controls, trackball controls, a number pad for Atari 5200 emulation, and a nice big screen that I hope is clear and bright. Now, I've heard that this baby is going to sell for well over $100 when it comes out, but if it's as good as I'm hoping it will be, then I think it's going to be well worth the money. Finally, they figured out a way to do a portable with all these different controls and functions. And if it has the same functionality as the Game Station Pro, you could possibly put an SD card in it for expansion with games and ROMs. Now, this thing is a long way off from coming out, and there are several kill points that could ruin the product. Will all these different controls function well? Will the unit have dismal battery life? Will the screen be worth looking at, or dull and just plain weak? And will it actually be expandable? Well, we won't know for sure for a long time, but I think Atari and MyArcade know what they need to do to release a worthy product, especially after the last batch. So here's hoping we get something really cool for Christmas of 2024. But let's discuss something that we'll have by the end of next month here, and that's the Atari 400 Mini. I made a video a few months back begging Atari to make units other than the flashbacks. Now, I know they released the 2600 Plus and worked with MyArcade for the Game Station Pro, and I don't think I was really clear in what I meant in that video. I don't want more Atari 2600 plug-and-play consoles, but I wanted to argue that it could release a 5200 plug-and-play, a 7800 plug-and-play, and heck, even something like a Jaguar plug-and-play. While the 2600 Plus covers the cartridge side of things at a higher price, I still think there's room for a $30 to $40 plug-and-play that people will be more likely to impulse buy. But I just don't want any more 2600 stuff. And apparently they listened. Well, sort of. We got the Atari 400 Mini announced, and this baby is going to emulate the entire family of Atari 8-bit computers, to my understanding. It obviously uses the Atari 400 form factor, which may be the most nostalgic for people, but I'm not sure of that. There will be 25 games built in, and 4 USB ports in the front for you to use your mouse, keyboard, joystick, and most importantly, a USB drive. This will allow you to load and play games not included on the unit. They haven't shied away from saying that you can add games, but we're waiting to see if it's 100% compatible with everything out there. But it sounds like this little mini console is everything I wanted, and it pretty much is. But the price is really up there. You can pre-order for March delivery from Amazon, but the current asking price is about $120, only $10 cheaper than the 2600 Plus. Still, if you're a fan of the 8-bit family, this should be worth it. And I wish the price could have stayed at least around $60 and $80. But if the thing works great and the quality is high, then it should be worth it for fans of the old Atari computers. It's just harder to justify picking it up on a whim is all. I'm personally excited for this, and will be picking it up so I can finally experience the Atari 8-bit computers that I missed out on. And I also want to support Atari in this product, in the hopes that they bring out more mini consoles in the future, and less recycled 2600 stuff. So those are the official Atari products that I'm most excited for in 2024, and the ones you may want to keep an eye out for. There are more that have been announced, like controller extensions and whatnot, and I'm sure Atari has a few surprises up their sleeves, but I think these are probably the most desirable and interesting. On top of that, I thought it'd be cool to highlight a few Atari-related products offered by other companies and members of the community. And the first thing I wanted to promote for Atari VCS owners is the fan magazine over at Atari.io. Club VCS. Club VCS is a fanzine that can be read digitally for free, but they also release physical copies in limited quantities. I happen to have grabbed one from the magazine's creator, editor, and publisher, Sabertooth, and I can say that this thing is way better quality than any old Nintendo Power or AtariAge magazine you would have grabbed off the newsstand. The first issue of this magazine was great, so check them out and tell them Atari Network and the 7800 Pro Gamer sent you. It doesn't really get you anything extra, but you know, just tell them that and they'll think you're a cool guy. And you are. Okay, anyway, there is, as always, a plethora of homebrew coming out from AtariAge for the 2600, 7800, Jaguar, and more. My personal recommendations are Harpy's Curse and EXO for the 7800. Game of the Bear, Too Much to Bear for the 2600, and Novagen Volume 1 for the Jaguar. But I recommend heading over to AtariAge and checking out the wide selection. I bet you'll find one or two that you'll think is pretty cool. But also, don't forget about Video 61 Atari sales. They've been hard at work putting out between 2 to 3 games a year, and they've already released Nova Wolf for the 7800. But I recommend keeping an eye out for Tile Smashers on the 7800. That game looks like it's going to be something really incredible. They have a pretty good selection of 5200, Atari 8-bit, and 7800 Homebrew, so check them out. Beyond that, I've heard that some Atari YouTube channel has signed off on designs for an Atari Network mug, tumbler, and even 2 cool shirts designed for the podcast and channel. I don't know, these YouTube people usually sell low quality stuff that's way overpriced, but I hear that this one is doing everything they can to keep the prices down and the quality high. But in order to do that, with them being a small channel and all, the quantities will have to be limited. Keep an eye out as they're probably coming in Q2 of 2024, if you're interested. Alright guys, we touched on some cool stuff like a mini console, a portable, a controller, a fan magazine, and of course, a bunch of fun games and homebrews. If you saw something here that you're interested in, then let me know down in the comments below. And if there is something coming out that you're excited for and I didn't mention it, then let us know what it is in the comments. Don't forget to hit the like button if you made it this far in the video. It helps me out a ton. And be sure to subscribe. I have a ton more videos just like this one on the channel. There's a review every Sunday for Atari games and sometimes even peripherals, and a featured video like this one every Thursday. And we have the Atari Network podcast right here on this channel with myself and co-host Vinny Vineyard from Big and Funky Productions every other Friday. There's actually one coming out February 9th, which is the day after this video comes out. So check that one out too for some fun in the chat and the most late-breaking Atari news and discussions. Alright guys, I think that's enough self-promotion. I'm the 7800 Pro Gamer, shameless fanboy here at the Atari Network, and I want to thank you all for watching my video on new and exciting Atari products coming this year. And remember, stay classy, Atarians.